Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk about how there is great joy to be found in daily activity and productivity. This is almost becoming a lost understanding in civilization today, as more and more people are striving to do less and less. Now, I'm not talking about if you're going to some job and it makes you miserable and you hate being there. Of course, you naturally would want to do less of that. That's understandable. I'm not talking about that at all. When I talk about productivity and activity, I'm not talking about going and working some job you don't like. Those are the things you should be avoiding and actually doing real activity that's important and productive in your life. But I'm talking about in daily life. Let's say you do go to a job and you don't really like being there, but you go there and you do it. What do you do after that? Well, for most people, they call that their free time. And all the restraints, all the obligations of life seem to disappear. And now they just go through life and just relax. They're entertained. They're watching TV. They're watching the news. They're playing video games. They're playing sports. They're doing all kinds of things except anything productive. And this is very vital to understand how to be the biggest success you can be in life. Many people aren't successful because the way they view time is so warped. And they listen to people telling them, well, you got to have work-life balance, which today just means do less. The whole understanding of it is completely destroyed because your life is part work. Work is not separate from life. And when you separate it like that, you start looking at things in a warped way. And you don't do as much as you could do on your job or in your place of business or in your work, because you view that as work, and that's different from life. Why can't your work be fun? Why can't your work be enjoyable? Why can't you be even more productive at your work? Whether you work for somebody else or you work for yourself or you have a business you own. Why can't you be happy doing that? Well, you can. And there can be great joy found in that. But you have to look at life differently. You can't look at your life divided up in certain time periods, which some of them are fun, some are awful. And as I said, if you're going to work somewhere or your business itself is making you miserable, you need to do something else. Don't just keep going back to that misery day in and day out and then wonder why your life's not going well. You're never going to be a success if you're doing something you hate. Now, first thing to understand is make sure your attitude's right. The guarantee I have for you is that if your attitude about your job is it's so awful and I hate it so much, your attitude's 100% not right. There's no way. It's impossible. Because I've seen people at the same jobs, the exact same jobs, the same positions, the same levels, the same pay, everything's the same, at the same store, and one's happy and one's miserable. Now, why is that? The one views it as a gift, as a blessing to have work. They view it as something ennobling, and they put their all behind it. The other views it as, oh no, I gotta be at work again. It's so awful. And they talk themselves up into this awful mentality, feeling awful before they even get to work, dreading it the night before. The whole thing about their mindset is one to keep them miserable at work. So you have to change your mindset. You have to look at work differently. But listen, if you're doing something that just you can't really see how it's going to be a joyful experience, then find something else to do. Now, I know it's easier said than done, especially if you're working for somebody else, because you might have to change careers. I get that. But at least start making some effort towards it. Even if it's just go read a blog post about different jobs in your industry. Maybe one of those might stand out to you, something you would want to do. Maybe if it's not an industry, maybe it's the particular degree you have. Maybe there's something else you could do with that degree that would be even better. But you could do something at least getting yourself another step closer to getting in a better position. Maybe a different job, different company. It might not even be the job itself. It might be the company. Maybe you need to go work somewhere else. I don't know. That's something for you to figure out. But you can have a better life and view things with joy. That's something that comes from within. But one of the many causes of even the problems with work is not the work itself, It's what people are doing on their quote-unquote free time. They waste it. They do endorphin-raising endeavors. They get their dopamine rush, but it's useless activities. And at the end of it, they feel worn out. They feel like they haven't accomplished anything. They know they haven't accomplished anything. And you can't live a life like that and feel good about yourself. Because you weren't created to be useless. You weren't created to just exist. You were created to be something great. God created you in His image and likeness. Can you honestly look at your life and say, yes, I'm in the image and likeness of God? Are you creating? Are you productive? Are you active and doing things each and every day? Things that are productive and make the world a better place? Or are you just existing? You go do your 9-to-5 job, you come home and do all the things average people do, and you're just existing. Now, I could tell you, quite frankly, that's no way to live. Now, you don't have to go immediately from that existence, that average mediocre life, to ultra productive, high productivity, ultra successful person overnight. It's not going to happen. You'll just stress yourself out the other way, and you will give up real quickly. So why not implement something? Can you add 10 minutes a day of reading edifying educational material that will help you and benefit you? I've written dozens of books, over 30 books over the years, many of them still in print. That would be a blessing for you if you read them. But you don't have to read my books. There's hundreds of thousands and millions of books out there right here and now. Many of them you get for inexpensive. You can get them for free. You may have them on your shelf and you haven't even read them. You could start by reading some of those. Build yourself up. You can also look to add some activity into your life. Not useless things, not playing video games and being entertained and watching movies and all this stuff, but things that are active. Is there a hobby that you would like to do but you haven't done it? Why not take that up? Maybe you wrote in high school, you wrote poetry, but now you're like, I don't have time for that. Dedicate 10 minutes a day to doing that. And listen, be easy on yourself. If you haven't done it in years, you're probably going to be terrible at first. That's all right. You get better. You know, I've written books since I was 16 years old, and my early books were horrific. They were bad. But I got better, and I'm still getting better every day. I write every day as well. That's important to note. You know, some of you beat yourselves up over things you want to accomplish. You want to paint, you want to write poetry, you want to make music, and all these different forms that are great for you to actually engage in. But because you're not perfect at it, or you're not the best in the world immediately, you give up. You're not easy on yourself. Remember, Jesus' yoke is easy, His burden's light. Be easy on yourself. Be light on yourself. Understand that you're going to have to practice some. Now, as I mentioned with myself, I write every single day. Every day. Not, I don't feel like it today, so I'm not going to do it. Or I'm behind today, so I can't do it. Every single day. I don't have great ideas today. Doesn't matter. I'm writing today. I write every single day. And I get better and better. And you know what happened over the course of many years? I'll hear some writers talking about writer's block or talking about they can't come up with ideas. It doesn't happen anymore. I can write and I can write and I can write. I always have ideas. I always have new things coming in my mind and I'm thinking about like, oh yeah, I could talk about this. But I attribute that, one, to the blessing of the Lord, of course. He's very kind and gracious to me. But I also understand that I've been doing it day in and day out, and I've built up that ability to where I can just write. Every day, consistently, no writer's blocks, no stopping, no, I don't know what to do. I can do it. God's blessed me with that. But the important key is I kept doing it. You have to keep going and keep being active and keep building up your skills and abilities. God will give you a gift, but if you do nothing with it, it's not going to grow and expand. He doesn't give you the full expansion and the fullness of the gift immediately, you have to grow into it. So my friend, you might have some gifting, some ability, something you're good at, something that would bless the world, whether it be in business, it be in architecture, it be in art, it be in whatever, doesn't matter what it is. Why aren't you daily taking action on that? Make some progress each day. You don't have to work for hours a day doing it, but could you do 10 minutes of it? Could you do 20 minutes of it? If you're watching hours of videos a day, maybe you could take one of those hours towards some worthwhile endeavor in your life, building upon a skill you have and building yourself up and becoming more and more each day. And my friend, if you do that, you'll find great joy. You'll find great peace. You'll find the wisdom of God available to you freely. You'll find that God blesses the work of your hand, and the little bit you do becomes even more, and it's multiplied. My friend, you can do great things. Don't let another day go by where you allow your gifts to be squandered, where you just exist. You're just a mediocre person, just being average, just fitting in, just doing what everybody else does. Carve your own path. Get on that narrow path and do the right things today. Become successful. Be ultra productive. Be ultra active. Don't let anyone say, oh, that's a lazy person over there. That's a person who doesn't do anything. That's an average person. Be that person of character and substance who rises above the norms and becomes powerful and a high performer. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.